News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Time to refill the Risk Fund. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. Congratulations, you made it. It's Friday, and it's Homecoming Friday, September 25th, 2015. Right now, the sky is mostly fair. We've got 43 degrees in Missoula, and our newscast sponsored by Missoula Nissan Hyundai. Drive what you want affordably. Stop by today and find out how leasing may be your best deal on a new car. Missoula County taxpayers will see another tax hike this year to help refill a risk pool, facing a deficit of over $800,000. Missoula County Commissioner Gene Curtis explains.
State law allows local governments to levy mills when an emergency or a litigation settlement causes the county to reduce our reserves below a level that we feel is needed to protect the county's financial position. This year, folks on their tax bill will see 1.19 additional mills in what shows up on the line item called Risk Fund.
Curtis says legal settlements have been the driving force behind the current deficit.
It's been an accumulation from a couple years, but as with all budget decisions, we take this very seriously. But we've had a few settlements over the past couple years that have reduced that pool of money below what we think is a level that we should keep it at.
The levy will be imposed for the next 3 years. Curtis says, although it's impossible to know for sure, another levy is not expected to be immediately needed after that. A 27-year-old Billings man has been sentenced to 10 years with the Department of Corrections, 5 suspended for a brutal attack in which an elderly veteran was beaten, burned, and robbed. The Billings Gazette newspaper reports District Judge Michael Moses sentenced Adam Scott Nelson yesterday for breaking into a house in December of 2013. Beating a man, pouring fluid on his back, and setting it on fire. Nelson fled after taking $180. The victim had previously allowed Nelson and his mother to live with him because they were homeless. The question as to whether or not the public will be allowed access to the valuation being used in the Mountain Water case is the subject of several motions by a community group and the city of Missoula. Attorney for Advocates for Missoula's Future, Quentin Rhodes, submitted a response to Judge Karen Townsend stating that the valuation information should be released to his clients and therefore to the public.
The city responded to our motion not on the substance of the matter. They adopted a kind of a procedural posture where they said that the advocates don't have a right to vindicate this constitutional right to know because they don't have an interest in the lawsuit.
Rhodes speculates that if Judge Townsend remains consistent with her previous statements and rulings, the matter should be resolved in favor of his clients.
I think based on her order of December 1st, 2014, a copy of which we've attached to our brief, that if she's consistent with that, she'll grant the motion, and if not grant the motion itself, at least order that the information be made public. The public has a right to know, and there's just no two ways about that.
You can see those documents in an attachment on our website, at newstalkkgvo.com. The final decision rests with Missoula District Judge Karen Townsend. State lawmakers and educators are reviewing the state funding formula for education a decade after a lawsuit forced Montana to create the system. Lead Newspapers of Montana reports the School Funding Interim Commission set priorities Wednesday during the group's first meeting in Helena. The commission plans to conduct research and make recommendations to legislators in 2017. Health insurance rates for those with Affordable Care Act plans in Montana are about to see a big jump, with some between 20 and 40%. Montana Insurance Commissioner Monica Lundeen called the increase, quote, frustrating, end quote. Her spokesperson, Jennifer McKee, agrees.
It's a frustrating situation. Just for an example, a popular silver level plan, let's say you're just an average 40-year-old non-smoker, the difference of a monthly cost would be between $80 and $88, depending on where you live and which company you bought from. And that's $80 more in 2016 a month than in 2015.
McKee said the price hikes won't directly affect most of the Montanans that have Affordable Care Act plans because the increase will be covered by their subsidy.
85% of the Montanans who bought insurance and who will be paying these prices next year are getting a tax credit. And the way the tax credit is structured is it's capped at a certain percentage of the buyer's income. So for those 85%, which is about 42,000 Montanans, they actually won't see this increase.
McKee said the rate hike was partly due to pent-up demand for health care from those who couldn't get service before the Affordable Care Act. but said the insurance companies may have underpriced their plans when healthcare.gov first came online to undercut the competition. A former firefighter with the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes has been given a 20-year suspended sentence with the Department of Corrections after pleading guilty to setting several fires on the Flathead Indian Reservation in 2013 and 2014. Lake County Attorney Steve Eschenbacher told Kerr AM and Jeff Smith that Philip Cody Haynes' sentencing yesterday included a requirement that he pay $100,000 in restitution. Court records say a fire near Arlee in 2013 burned over 2 square miles and forced the evacuation of 21 homes. With thousands of fans coming into Missoula for homecoming weekend, the Montana Highway Patrol and other law enforcement agencies will be having extra patrols looking for impaired drivers. Captain Jim Kitchen said his agency will primarily be patrolling the highways coming into and out of Missoula.
We're going to have a lot of increased traffic coming into the area on 200 and I-90 and even up from the Bid Route down from the Kalispell area. We just want everybody to drive safely this week, getting into town and leaving.
Kitchen said they'll be on the lookout for drunk and impaired drivers all weekend.
I think the big thing that we're looking for this weekend is the festivities before, we get the homecoming parade. And I know there's going to be a lot of people probably traveling into town today, tomorrow. And we just don't want people drinking and driving on the way in.
Kitchen said the best deterrent to drinking and driving is not to do it at all. In a somewhat related story, Montana residents are preparing for quicker commutes as speed limits on some interstate highways will increase from 75 to 80 miles per hour. The Great Falls Tribune newspaper reports on October 1st, Montana Department of Transportation crew members will either replace or install 370 80-mile-per-hour traffic signs along Interstates 15, 90, and 94. The speed will still be 75 in urban areas. According to a legislative fiscal report, the cost for making the change, about $265,000. Though the new law allows for drivers to go a little faster, it also makes speeding more costly. Fines for exceeding the speed limit will be raised from a maximum of $100 to $200. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly sunny skies today with our high temperatures in the low 80s. Winds will be breezy this afternoon with wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight, lows in the mid-40s. Isolated shower possible Saturday, highs in the 70s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.